Hello, welcome again to the Virginia School of Traditional Arts. Today we're going to do a little project, recondition an old lamp. This is one of the lamps out of my wife's bed and breakfast, and it's been knocked off the table several times in the recent years, and it has not got to where it doesn't work. It'll sort of cut on and sort of don't cut on. Well, when you have a lamp like that, that's extraordinarily dangerous. That's a condition we call a short in electricity, and it's not quite doing what it's supposed to do, so we're going to just replace all of it and with some new. Today you're going to need a couple tools, a flat screwdriver, a pair of cutting pliers, and your parts for your lamp repair. So I'll put a link to where I bought this. I think I bought this on Amazon, but I'll put a link in the description below where I bought my parts for my lamp. It wasn't very expensive. Some things are wanting to spend 30, 40, 50 bucks on this. This is not a crazy expensive lamp, but it is a nice lamp and we like it, so that's why I'm going to repair it. And it is an older lamp. It's called a hobnail, I think is what they call this. It's kind of little bumps on it, and it's made out of, I don't know, some kind of porcelain glass type stuff. So first step to do is make sure your lamp is unplugged. So we've got our lamp unplugged here. Here's the end of the plug, and we're going to take off the shade, of course. I'm going to set that down. Trying to set it down in something that's not so dirty. And then take out your light bulb. We're going to save that because it is working. And then the very first step of this is just grab a hold of this and just pull this out. And you're pulling out two things here. You're pulling out the outside coating of this metal piece, and there's a piece of cardboard inside, and the actual threaded part will stay. Now I have pulled this apart, I'll be honest with you, before, just to look and see how it was put together, and it took a little more effort than I would have thought. I didn't have to put any tools on or anything, but I did have to pull on it pretty hard. This one is coming apart really easy because I have had it apart before. And then you can see on the inside how it's made right here. And it has two knots tied in the cord, and we're going to do that as well. And that keeps the cord from being pulled out the bottom and pulling your connections loose and starting a fire. But this is how it works, and this is the pieces that it's got. And it's a little piece of cardboard on the inside, and that's just to insulate this outside from this part. You've got to have that piece of cardboard in there, otherwise you'll shock yourself, because this is live when we turn it on. So you can't hold this and be flipping this back and forth. It will shock you. Okay? So first step of this is we're just going to take and cut off this cord here. And we'll leave this as reference so we can see how it's put together. Now we could reuse this old cord if we wanted to. If it's in good shape, we could do that, but it's dirty, so we're going to replace it. And so to replace this, we're going to tape a piece of string on this. Have a piece of string. Again, you could use a piece of wire or whatever you needed to use. And you could even cut this off and use it to go back through. What we're looking for is something to pull our new piece out without us struggling on it very much. So we're going to put our piece of string on here with our piece of tape. Nothing more than blue painter's tape, which is not crazy strong by any means, but it should do this job here. And we get it down tight and smooth so it'll pull through the hole real good. And so that's what we'll do next, is pull this through. And we can just cut that off. And now we're just going to open back up our parts. I actually bought a section that has two of these lamps in it together, two whole lamp pieces to replace. So I have another lamp we need to work on. And so we have all the little pieces here. And this is our new cord, and it's nice and clean. Now it's not white. I would have preferred to have a white cord, but it will do. And we're just going to unwind it here. They wanted that not to come apart. Why did they got 30 lines on that? And we're going to put this on our piece of, we get rid of our white cord, our old cord now. We're just going to get us a new piece of tape. We'll put this on our string. Same idea, just taping the string to the tape. Or taping the string to the wire, rather. And then just getting it to, and you just got to hold it long enough to get back through here. It's not a permanent connection by any means. We want this wire to be straight so it's coming. There we go, it's back through. Now we can take it off. Okay, I didn't tape it as good that time, so it just pops off. Now we have a choice. We can replace this little part here. They gave us a new one, or they didn't give it to us, but they sold us a new one, and we can replace that. This one seems to have threads in it and a little set screw, and this one is in reasonable shape and it's tight on there, so I'm not wanting to replace it if I don't have to. So I'm hoping this section here will fit right back down on here. So let's try that and see. I'm just going to take this out for a moment and just make sure this feels like it's going to snap back in there. And it feels like it's going to snap back in there fine. So I'm going to reuse this bottom part here. And we may have to squish it a little bit or something to make it work, but it's no different size than this, I don't think, so we'll try doing that. My fear is if I take this off, this lamp's going to come apart because it's a threaded rod that holds it together, and I'm not wanting to take all that apart if I don't have to. So this is the exact same size, yep. So we'll save that for another time, maybe we'll do it later, but right now this is together. It's looking pretty close to right. It looks bent slightly, but I hate to bend on it too much because I don't want to tear it up. That straightened it. That straightened it a little bit. Okay, so now what we got to do is take our wires, pull them apart. They've already got them stripped for us. That's even better, so we don't really need our metal cutting pliers really for this. And we're going to take and tie a knot in this in both sides so that keeps it from pulling this back through. If we happen to, somebody happens to pull on this from the cord end, it doesn't allow this to pull apart. There we've got our two knots, and we don't have to make these too hard of a knot, but we want them to be knotty so that they're not coming out. Correction, we need a Phillips screwdriver. We could have used a slotted one, but this is even better. Phillips. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our pieces and we're going to twist them up. We did that before already, but we're going to twist them up and we're going to kink them over 90 degrees is what we're going to try to do. Kink them over 90 degrees. And we want it to look like a candy cane, like that. And we want it to be this direction. As you're looking at it, you want it to face to the left, or excuse me, face to the right. So when we twist it, it's going to get tighter as it goes around. If we do it the other way, as we twist it, it opens it up. So that's the idea. And now, put it behind the screw. Work it down in there. Work it down in there. I might have to take my screw out a little bit more. Be careful. Sometimes the screws will come all the way out. We don't want that. Twist it up again. And we don't want any of this plastic behind the screw. We just want bare metal. So you got to pay attention to what you're doing. I'm trying to get it where y'all can see. There we go. There we go. Be still. And you don't got to go crazy with these little screws, but we do want them to hook on. And I'll get y'all a close up. And again, looking like a candy cane from your side would look like that. If you're looking at it, that's what you want to see, like that. Since I'm on the other side of you, it's got to, it looks backwards, I guess, but that will be okay. And we're just going to make our candy cane shape there. Now I think we got it. And I'm going to hold it on both sides a little bit to just guide it. Let's grab the rubber part. We want that. We gotta get it back down. Just hold it a little bit. Again, don't have to go crazy with that. And we can work these knots up a little bit so that they're just at the bottom of this. And this has to all fit down in here, so we can't have a crazy amount of wire in here. So we'll just work those knots up, both sides. Got our knots up, and we're going to pull this down slightly. Make sure it'll sit like that. Okay. Now we've got our new part here. It has a slot in it. It's got our piece of cardboard inside. We got those slots lined up. That slot goes over top of this little knob that turns the light on and off. So we want that to fit down correctly. And then we want to get this started on our base and mash it down pretty good. Alright, and pull on our cord a little bit just to make sure it's not bumped up in there. Okay, and at this point we can check it. We can put our light bulb back in here. Plug our light in. There we go. Oh, cut on one time. What's wrong with this thing? Huh. I hope it burns more than that. That's what it was doing before. That kind of crazy looking stuff like that. Alright, we'll try a new light bulb. Let's try this. This don't work. That looks like a lot better to me. I don't know why you gotta click it twice to make it work, but it seems to be working. Better than it was, for sure. I think it's that light bulb making it blink out. So, anyhow, that one works a lot better. Alright, job done. This should take 20 minutes if everything's working. Like I say, if you're having trouble with your receptacle, might change your light bulb first. I might have saved a lot of time. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Watching me struggle on this a little bit. But do try to save your old lamps if you like them in particular. That like I do this one. I like this hobnail lamp. It's not an expensive lamp. You can still find these. You can still find the original old ones like this one is, and I think they even make some reproduction ones. But I think they're interesting looking. They're tough as nails because, like I said, this one's hit the floor about 4 times in the last month. I knocked it over a couple times, and a couple of my guests have knocked it over a couple times. So, and that might have shook that bulb loose. Instead of me thinking it was something internal, it could have just been that bulb. But this is a good exercise anyway. We've got another lamp to fix, and we'll see if we might change bulbs in that one before we go fix it. Hope you've enjoyed this. Hit the like and subscribe. If you're interested in classes on blacksmithing, I don't teach electric classes, but classes on blacksmithing or knife making, cast iron cooking, survival, and a myriad of other things, leather work and lathe work. Check the description below, and we'll have some link to the Virginia School of Traditional Arts. You can check that out for all the classes we offer. And if you're in Southern Virginia, please stop by and check us out. And thank you.